What I'm going to do here is demonstrate how to create a generic Vertibird landing and NPC drop-off thing. So first of all, we're going to look for Vertibird, and there's here these Vertibird encounter 1 and 2. So we're going to create our own unique one. So I'm going to call it Vertibird encounter 3. Okay, yes. And so then I'm going to click and drag it into the world. And this is what we're going to see. So we're going to see kind of a Vertibird and a shadowy, mysterious looking Vertibird underneath it. So we're going to click and drag this all the way down here and take this mysterious, shadowy Vertibird. This is where our Vertibird's going to land. So we're just going to look around and put it somewhere where there's space. So sort of here it'll land and not be in the way of anything when it does. It's a little bit in the way of this iBot, but hopefully it won't be there at a particular time. So I'm just going to save. Just save it as Vertibird tutorial. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a trigger. And so now there are lots of different ways you can do a Vertibird encounter, but the entering a trigger one should be nice and simple. So we're going to do a trigger here, like this. New, and I'm going to call it Vertibird tutorial trigger, like that. And I'll just set the script to none for the moment because I haven't written one. And now, oops, I had markers disabled. So here's my trigger, and I'm going to make it the right size as soon as the game decides to let me click on it. There we go. So now you could click and drag this any size you want around the Vertibird, and this is going to be the area that when the player enters, the Vertibird will spawn. So I'm going to make it quite big. Can be any size you want, basically. And so we're going to write a little script for it now. So we're going to put scn tutorial Vertibird trigger script. And so I'm going to put short do once. And now we're going to do something we haven't done before. I'm going to put ref just ref. So basically that's a variable that a linked reference is stored in this variable rather than it being a number like a short variable is. So now we're going to put begin on trigger enter player if do once equals 0. We're going to do set Vertibird to get linked ref, set do once to 1, and then we're going to put Vertibird dot activate and if end. Invalid variable name Vertibird. Okay, so I'm going to put, if I stick Vertibird tut at the end like that, maybe it will let me call it back. There we go. I don't know why that was an invalid variable name. Maybe there's already a variable called that, or maybe because it was a very specific thing. I mean, it could be the same. Vertibird could also be the name of a global variable that I don't know about. So I'm going to save, and I'm just going to double click on our trigger and open up this reference box, edit base, and now we're going to look for that script that we just wrote before. What did I actually call it? Did I call it tutorial Vertibird script? Yep. Like that. And so now what we're going to do is just click in the render window and zoom right in so that the camera's inside the trigger. And then I'm going to select linked reference, select in render window. No, we have to double click the Vertibird first and make sure it's set to be a persistent reference. Then we can select linked reference and select that. So Vertibird encounter 03 is the linked reference. So that means that when the player enters the Vertibird trigger, our little Vertibird here will be activated. So next up, we're going to put a little bit of thought of what do we want to be enabled when, what do we want to be dropped off. So first of all, we're going to go to static, and we're going to find an X marker. And what this is going to do is this is going to be the linked reference of the Vertibird, and then this, when the Vertibird lands, this X marker will be enabled, and then two little enclave guys will also be enabled once this is enabled. Now the reason this has to exist is because an object can only have one linked reference, and I'm going to use the get linked reference script to spawn this. And now the reason I'm using get linked reference instead of creating unique reference IDs is so that this setup can be placed anywhere without having to edit any names and IDs, without having to create multiple ones. It can just be generic and be used in every single location, which is why the linked references are important. So now I'm going to double click on this Vertibird, and we're going to go over to linked reference, select reference vendor window, and now X markers are always persistent references. So we can do that. And so now we're going to look at what do we want to spawn in its place. So we're going to go to leveled character. I'm going to look for some enclave guys. Enclave random seems good. Did I drag it into the world? Oh, can you not put these in the world? Oh, you have to go into NPCs. So there should be somewhere that's like a list of these things. Instead of doing a leveled list, I should have looked beforehand and done this, because I know one of these guys is the leveled one. Oh look, it's these ones. There we go. Anything that looks like a little M with an arrow on it is a leveled list. So we're gonna see, look, they're called like LVL level checkpoint. So we can just use these probably. Yeah, let's just use these. I mean, these might actually be for something because it has FFER, that's freeform, so these might actually be for a freeform quest. So let's use somebody who has multiple things. Oh look, Enclave Vertibird Patrol, Enclave. Let's use, oh, this is an MQ guy, we're not going to use one of those. There we go. These ones that have multiple usage will do fine, because we know they're not for anything specific if they have multiple counts. So we'll have the Vertibird drop off 2 people. One of these and one of these flamer guys. So put them there. Now we can go to level modifier, and we can increase these to easy, medium, hard, and boss. So if I put him medium, you'll notice he's now changed colour. So a more powerful NPC will come out the higher up you put the leveled item. So now we're just going to go to here, and we're going to go to enable parent, and yeah, we've selected that correct X marker, and we're going to do the same for this guy. Enable parent, select vendor window, and we're going to make sure that it's selected that X marker. So now we can see that it's the linked reference of this, which is what the yellow arrow symbolises, and its children are these. So that will be important later on. Now we're going to write the script for this Vertibird. If I write this entire script without any errors, I'll be very pleased. SCN tutorial Vertibird landing script. So now we're going to put short active, and then we're going to do a float variable. Those are variables that don't have to be whole numbers. A short is an integer, it's a whole number, 1, 2, 3, 4. Float is, you know, a number like 1.5, so they can be stored as multiple things. So we're going to call it float timer, which we'll use later. I'm going to put begin on activate, and I remember that it is activated when the player enters the trigger from earlier. Set active to 1. Ends. Now we're going to go for a begin game mode script. So we're going to put if active is equal to 1, playgroup forward 0, set active to 2, and if. So what that means is once active is set to 1, which it will be once we activate it, which it will be activated once we step into the trigger, then it will play the animation group forward, and it will play it from the very start of the animation, which is what that 0 means. So that will mean that it will fly in and land. So now we're going to put if active equals 2, which it will be as it's flying in. If is it is anim or get anim? Let's go for is. No, for get. Anim playing equals 0. So if it's finished its animation, hold on. Actually, we need to do a ref linked ref. I forgot to set this variable because we're going to do set linked ref to get linked ref dot enable. So now those fellas, down there will appear because the linked reference is this X marker, which has the enabled children of this. And then we're going to set active to 3. Now I'm going to go if active is equal to 3, which it will be once it's landed, dropped off people. If timer, and now this is where we decide how long do we want the Vertibird to be on the ground for. I think the base game uses 2 seconds, but I'm going to be safe and say 5. So if the timer is below 5, set timer to timer plus get seconds passed. So what that will mean is it will increase the timer by however many seconds have passed since the last time this variable was called. So if the timer is below 5, it will set timer to however many seconds have passed since the last time it checked if timer was below 5. So now we're going to do else if timer is greater than or equal to 5, so not equal to in case it somehow goes very quickly over 5. It's just like a safety net. Play group backwards. Is it backward or backwards? I think I go for backward. Oh, hold on, backward 0. Set active to 4. End if. So now we're going to put if active equals 4. If get anim playing equals 0. So now if it's flying away, as it will when active is 4, and if it's finished its active, we're going to put disable and mark for delete, and then I'm just going to put linked ref dot mark for delete. So basically I put mark for delete for both of these things so that if you put loads of Vertibird encounters in the game and you keep on and on enabling them, eventually a save file is going to be massively bloated. So this mark for delete will tell the game to delete these items the next time the cell is unloaded. So they will go away from the game. Set active to 5. End if. End. If this saves first time, I'll probably celebrate. Ooh, it's not get anim playing. So after I was wondering, is it get anim playing? It might be is anim playing. If it isn't is anim playing, then I won't be very happy because I'll have completely messed it up. Where's the other time I wrote it? Because I wrote it more than once, didn't I? Look, it's up here. Unknown variable get linked ref. Sorry, set. So here I put get linked ref. That should be set linked ref to get linked ref. There we go. That's saved now. So basically, what will happen is we'll close it now. Let's also add it to the Vertibird before I start running through how everything works. Oh ho 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 ho! I've just noticed something. I think that I've accidentally clicked the wrong thing for this linked reference. No, that's okay. I thought this was coming out of this X marker because the arrow was put directly to it, but it wasn't. So that's good. So now we're going to double click this Vertibird as soon as I can. There we go. Edit base, and now we're going to look for the script that we just wrote then. as soon as I can remember what I called it. Call it tutorial Vertibird landing script. So I'm just going to save. So what should happen, if everything's gone right, is you'll enter this trigger. And when you enter this trigger, if do once equals 0, it will set Vertibird chute to get linked ref. And the linked ref for this particular trigger is that Vertibird there that we can see in the background. Do once, Vertibird chute dot activate. And that will only happen if do once is 1, so do once is 0, so do once is set to 1, so this encounter will only ever run once. And so then once that happens, this will be activated. And once this is activated, active will be set to 1. If active is 1, it will begin its forwards playgroup, which is it's flying in from somewhere and landing, and then it'll set active to 2. If active equals 2, which means that it's flying in, if it's no longer flying in, which means the atom isn't playing, it will set linked ref to get linked ref, and it will enable linked ref. Linked ref being the X marker we placed earlier. Then this X marker will enable its children, these fellas down here. Perhaps I should make sure it's initially disabled. That might be sensible. Then active will be set to 3. And if active is set to 3, that means we've landed and everybody is out of a Vertibird. Well, probably never in it, but you know what I mean. If timer is less than 5, it will be set to however long it was since it last did its thing. If timer is greater than or equal to 5, then it will play backwards, which is its getting up and flying off animation. Active will be set to 4. Then if active is 4, that means we're flying away. And if we've totally flowed away, which means no animation is playing, it will be disabled, everything will get marked for delete, active will be set to 5, and that will be done. And now you can, now that you've got that set up, that trigger, the trigger script and the Vertibird script, you can place these anywhere in the world, provided that you set up the linked references that I've done. So trigger link to this, this link to that, that link to those people. That setup can then be put anywhere. It's not, they're not unique, they're very generic. So I'm going to dive into the game now and hopefully show it all working out. Okay, I went in to test it and noticed two stupid mistakes that I made. First of all, I made a mistake in this trigger here, where it says, where it went, we said Vertibird chute.activate. We need to put Vertibird chute 1 after it, because I needed to tell the, it needed a reference to activate it. It couldn't just activate magically, it needed something to activate it. So you need to put that in. And then the second little mistake I made is, I forgot to specify what animation needed to not be playing in each stage. So this one here is anim playing, should have had forward equals 0, because if you don't do that, it will just check if any animation isn't playing, and an animation is always playing because it's spinning its rotors. And then back here as well, at the very end when it's flying away, we needed to say, is anim playing backward equals 0 to get it to go away. So just two little mistakes, you know, that's always going to happen when making something like this. So I'll now go into the game and we should see it working properly this time. Okay, so we're just going down the hill into where Vertibird should spawn, and it's raining. I should have disabled on my other mods, but I didn't, so it's now raining. So we're approaching the Vertibird drop site, where it should, oh, it would have to be the worst weather ever for this demonstration, wouldn't it? Couldn't conceivably have been a nice day. So now here we go. It does go through the lamppost a little bit, but no one's bothered about that. Oh no, Gerard, not happy. Oh no, oh no! Oh no, I damaged the Vertibird and it's flying through the buildings. Oh, this isn't good. Is it gonna, it might blow up. I might have destroyed it by accident. I can see it and it's gone now. Okay, so that all worked. Didn't destroy the Vertibird. I usually kill someone at the end of each turn. I just killed Brother Gerard. Yeah, it all worked fine. The Vertibird came, landed, dropped these guys off, went, almost got blown up but didn't, and flew slightly through the houses. So, but there's nothing you can do to really avoid that happening, except make certain that the place you put your Vertibird is away from buildings and telegraph poles, which I did not do. but I don't think that devalued the tutorial in any way. And as you can see, as I'm kind of entering and leaving where we drew the trigger before, it's not coming back. So that has all worked fine. So hopefully that was useful. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.